What's going on, guys? CrustyKs here. Excited to talk about this March Madness bracket. We're going to go through a region a day leading up to the tournament. Today we're talking about the South, so let's jump right into it. The first one, Auburn taking on either Alabama State or St. Francis University. I'm not going to spend a lot of time in this game. It's Auburn, however you want it. I really don't care what the number's going to be once this first 4 games said and done. It's Auburn. The next one here, pretty intriguing matchup. Louisville taking on Creighton. Two teams, similar play styles, like to run the floor, like to shoot the three. For me here, there's a couple edges going each way. Louisville, they like to turn you over, which Creighton has struggled at times with turnovers. Not a big struggle, but definitely something to note. But then going the other way, you look at this Louisville team, and they really haven't been like one of the bigger teams in college basketball. Obviously, Pryor's been out for pretty much the whole season, and now they run Ryan Smith at the 5, and he's just not big. So you get Ryan Kalkbrenner here for Creighton, who, I mean, in my opinion, he's pretty soft, but when he gets these matchups against these teams that don't have like a true big, I really do think that he kind of just thrives because it's easy. It's an easy matchup. And that's kind of what he runs into here. So for me, I like Creighton to win this one. I think they get it done. I think they advance. Just like I said, because I don't see Louisville having an answer for Kalkbrenner down low. And even if Louisville shoots well, which, I mean, from 3, they've been incredibly inconsistent this season. They're a team that likes to, obviously, volume 3s. So, I don't know. It's a high variance, outcome with Louisville because of all the 3s they shoot. And I just think Creighton's going to be able to consistently work down low with Kalkbrenner. And even if Louisville chooses to try to double him to get the ball out of his hands, I mean, you're going to open up a lot of perimeter shooting for Ashworth and even some of these younger guys that have kind of emerged as role players for Creighton. I just like them here. The next one, Michigan taking on UC San Diego. UC San Diego probably going to be a trendy dog, and rightfully so. They're a team that likes to turn you over. They force a ton of turnovers, one of the best turnover forcing teams in the country. And Michigan, as we all know, has really struggled with turnovers this season, right around, I believe, 20% for the season, which is incredibly high. And then even if you look at defensively, UC San Diego has been really, really good at limiting opponents' 2s, 358th in point distribution from the 2. So they should be able to limit Wolf and Golden, which will be huge. And then you force Michigan to take more jump shots, shoot more 3s, which they've really been hit or miss with this season. And against a team that likes to turn you over like UC San Diego, I think this is a brutal draw for Michigan. I really do. So I like UC San Diego here plus 3.5. In terms of a bracket, I think they're a great spot to pick as a potential underdog to win in advance and really mess up some other people's brackets. So UC San Diego here. The next one, Texas A&M taking on Yale. Another spot where I think you're going to get a trendy underdog here, and I personally just don't see it. You look at Yale, and I guess like the metrics might be enticing people and why people think that they have a real shot here, because the metrics, they're like top 30 rebounding. But then when you look at their opponents, obviously they play in the Ivy League, so the schedule's not great. You look at their size, and they're the biggest team in the Ivy League by a lot. So that gives them a pretty big advantage there just in their own conference, which again skews their metrics. Because when they went and played a couple quad-1 opponents, they got out-rebounded pretty bad, including Minnesota, who had 17 offensive boards against this Yale team. And Minnesota's not a team that I'm expecting to have that many offensive rebounds against anyone. So looking at this one here, Texas A&M, best offensive rebounding team in the country. And obviously they're a team that likes to get to the rim. Yale, metric-wise, looks really good at defending the rim, but again, played in the Ivy League. Not a lot of size there. I think their metrics are really going to skew people's perception of this team, and I think A&M gets whatever they want inside. They're probably going to have 20-plus offensive boards and just be able to take it to the rack, and get fouled, whatever, to shoot free throws. But I think they are a matchup nightmare for Yale, so I like Texas A&M minus 7.5, or like I said, for a bracket, I think they advance pretty easy here. The next one, Ole Miss, it'll either be taking on San Diego State or UNC. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this one because we don't know who they're going to face yet. I do like San Diego State in that first 4 game. So if Ole Miss were to play San Diego State, I do think that's a pretty tough draw for them, and I would lean San Diego State to pull the upset in that one as well. Moving on, though, the next one, Iowa State taking on Lipscomb. This is a 3 seed taking on a 14. Iowa State just announced Keyshawn Gilbert be out for the tournament. Lipsy is expected to play. Obviously, they still have guys like Curtis Jones, Joshua Jefferson. This team's pretty deep. Milan's back as well. If Lipscomb drew really any other like high-seeded team, I would be probably inclined to try to get involved with them here. But Iowa State, I think, is just a brutal matchup. It's a team that we all know likes to force turnovers. Very physical play style defensively. I think they are a matchup nightmare for Lipscomb. So I like Iowa State here minus whatever. I think it's like 13.5. I think they win this game by 20 plus. This is just a brutal matchup. The next one here, Marquette taking on New Mexico, the 7 playing the 10. This is probably my favorite matchup in this region. It's going to be a great game to watch. Maybe not so much to bet on. It's a pretty tough matchup, in my opinion, to bet on. New Mexico, I expect them to be incredibly trendy. They were incredibly trendy last year when they played Clemson, and they got absolutely shit pumped. So I'm not sure how quick people will be willing to go back to them. But looking at this matchup here, I do lean New Mexico. I believe the spread's at 3.5, it looks like. So New Mexico plus the 3.5. I think that they present some issues for Marquette. They're a team that likes to run the floor, similar to like what Marquette does. Actually, pretty similar play styles. I'd say Marquette's defense is a bit better, but even that, their defense hasn't been great this season. And their issue has been lack of size. And now you're going to face New Mexico, who just loves to get to the rim. And that's where I think this matchup, it really is going to be a problem for Marquette. New Mexico, like I said, Nelly Jr. Joseph, Amzil, if I believe he's fully healthy finally. True Washington, Donovan Dent, obviously, one of the best guards in the country. He's a guy who loves to get to the rim. A very similar play style to Cam Jones on the other side. So I just think New Mexico, stylistically, this is a really good matchup for them. So I like New Mexico plus the 3.5. I do think this is a spot on the bracket where if you pick New Mexico, you could be okay. If you pick Marquette, you could be okay. I think New Mexico keeps it close. I'm not saying they win the game. I do lean that way, but I think in terms of a bracket, this is probably one of the toughest games to pick in this region and really just the whole bracket. The last one in this region, Michigan State taking on Bryant. So, I mean, it's Michigan State. You look at Bryant, and they're a team that does have a lot of size. I will give them that. One of the tallest teams in the country. But when they face quad one opponents, it has not gone well. They lost to St. John's by 22. They lost to Grand Canyon by 40. So, I mean, maybe they play a little better here because it's, win or go home. But I don't know. Michigan State, they're just locked in. They are going to be off a loss to Wisconsin. And I think this is just one of those spots where maybe Bryant covers the number. If you're looking at it for betting purposes, I would lean that way for them to cover the number because I do think that the game will be played slow enough and they have enough size to at least make life a little difficult at Michigan State. But I don't see it there's not an upset alert here for me or like an upset watch because it's not happening. So for bracket purposes, Michigan State all the way. For betting purposes, I'd say Bryant plus the points, probably a strong look. That does include the South region though. Like I said, I'm gonna just break it up into 4 videos to make it easier for you guys. That way they're not crazy long. So we'll be back. We'll do the East region next, and then we'll do the West and then the Midwest. 4 videos, 4 days to get you ready for March Madness. As always, all my official plays are at GoldBoys.com. If you have a gambling problem, dial 1-800-GAMBLER. Thank you guys.